morning and welcome back to Pitt to the Point. I'm Jordan Sapp.
And I'm Charlotte Reeve.
Join us for another exciting edition of Pitt to the Point, our Emmy Award-nominated weekly news and magazine show, broadcasting live from the state-of-the-art Pitt studios.
Get ready to dive into everything from the University of Pittsburgh to the heartbeat of the city and beyond, covering national and international events, noteworthy individuals, and compelling stories.
We're thrilled to bring back your favorite segments and introduce fresh features, including live reports that shine a spotlight on the thrilling activities happening across our diverse University of Pittsburgh regional campuses.
Keep an eye out for our newest segment, Crossing Over at Pitt, showcasing the groundbreaking collaborations between different departments and schools, setting new standards for innovative teaching across the nation.
Stay tuned as we connect live with our affiliate high schools, offering a glimpse into their vibrant communities and initiatives. And of course, we'll continue to keep you informed about the latest developments in politics, sports, medicine, and entertainment, from Pitt to the Point.
Last night, President Joe Biden spoke to a joint session of Congress at the United States Capitol for the annual State of the Union address.
Let's take a look at what the president had to say about this past year and future plans for the country.
The United States walks away, it will put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others to do what they wish to do us harm. My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away.
In other political news, earlier this week was Super Tuesday, where 16 states voted for their Republican and Democratic presidential nominees.
For more details on Super Tuesday's results and recent presidential election news, we go to our political reporter, Olivia McDonald. Olivia?
Thanks, Jordan and Charlotte. On Tuesday, 16 states and one U.S. territory hosted their presidential primary elections. President Joe Biden took the lead with the Democratic Party, while former President Donald Trump took the lead with the Republican Party. Along with these two, Nikki Haley won her second Republican primary just before she suspended her campaign Wednesday morning.
Before Super Tuesday, Nikki Haley took home her first Republican primary win. This would make her the first woman to win one. Although it broke Donald Trump's streak, he was still able to win the other 4 primaries last weekend. 16 states and one U.S. territory participated in this year's Super Tuesday, resulting in Trump and Biden taking the lead for both of their political parties. President Joe Biden won all 16 states' Democratic primaries except for the American Samoa vote, which went to Jason Palmer, a businessman from Baltimore, Maryland. This is the second time Joe Biden has lost the American Samoa vote. Jason Palmer was able to secure the American Samoa vote, although he had never visited the U.S. territory before. After winning Vermont's Republican primary, Nikki Haley's second win, she announced Wednesday morning that she was going to suspend her campaign.
Good morning. Just over a year ago, I launched my campaign for president. Just last week, my mother, a first-generation immigrant, got to vote for her daughter for president. Only in America. I am filled with the gratitude for the outpouring of support we've received from all across our great country. But the time has now come to suspend my campaign. I said I wanted Americans to have their voices heard. I have done that. I have no regrets. And although I will no longer be a candidate, I will not stop using my voice for the things I believe in.
With Nikki Haley dropping out of the race, this leads former President Donald Trump to take the lead for the Republican Party nominee, most likely leading to a Trump-Biden rematch in November.
Former President Donald Trump won 15 out of the 16 states hosting primaries this Super Tuesday. Trump currently leads with 1,062 delegates, needing only 1,215 to take his party's nomination. President Joe Biden won 16 states but lost the American Samoa vote. Biden currently leads with 1,596 delegates, needing only 1,968 delegates to take the Democratic Party nomination. With both Biden and Trump in the lead, we are looking at a repeat of the 2020 presidential election come this November. For Pitt to the Point, I'm political reporter Olivia McDonald. Jordan, Charlotte.
Thank you, Olivia. A new Pittsburgh City Council proposal means that parking tickets may now come by mail. These letters would replace the oh-so-familiar purple slips left on car windshields.
The argument for the change is that it will save parking attendants time since they won't have to get out of their vehicle. This allows the already short-staffed parking authority to increase their coverage.
City Council members also proposed to build tiny homes downtown to assist Pittsburgh's homeless population.
Originally proposed last year, the concept has faced delays due to zoning inconsistencies. Here is our City Beat reporter Lily Cohen with more information.
Tiny homes may be coming to Pittsburgh as a possible solution for the mounting homelessness crisis. 2 city council members put forth a proposal to bring the tiny home villages to the city's downtown areas. These shelters would provide basic needs such as warmth, hygiene, and food, while also providing 24-hour wraparound social services to help residents get back on their feet. We spoke with Councilwoman Deb Gross on the implementation of this plan.
We've been struggling with this issue of increased homelessness in the city now for a couple of years. We've been trying to work on affordable housing, kind of permanent housing for years now. But when we saw the increase in the outdoor living and the unhoused and the encampments, we've really struggled to figure out what part does the city have, since 100 other American cities are doing tiny houses in some form and doing them not in large camps, but in small communities. So I like to call them tiny neighborhoods. The proposal that we have on the table is really not for permanent tiny home. What we have on the table right now is not a legal dwelling. It's not even a dwelling. It's really more like a just temporary structure. Just really honestly warmer, drier, and more secure than a tent, but not much fancier than a shed. Hopefully lots of public process and public input. We had a planning commission meeting about 2 weeks ago. After the planning had kind of struggled with it for a few months, I had introduced it in November to change rules for large parts of the city so that these would be allowed, trying to stay away from the deeply residential neighborhoods and overlaying a footprint where we see most of the encampments, which are kind of the neighborhoods adjacent to rivers in the downtown areas, the formerly industrial areas.
2 weeks ago, the Planning Commission met to make a decision on this proposal, but they needed an extension. In about 6 weeks, they will meet again to make a decision on this plan. For Pitt to the Point, I'm City Beat reporter Lily Cohen. Charlotte, Jordan.
Thank you, Lily. In other city news, Pittsburgh is opening its first new emergency medical service, or EMS, station in 30 years. The new Medic 4 station will be located on the north side.
For more details about the new station, here is our Medical Minute reporter, Aditya Bandari. Aditya?
Thank you, Jordan, Charlotte. As they said in the last week, various law enforcement officials announced that a new EMS station will be coming to the north side of Pittsburgh. But this facility, as this is the first new one in Pittsburgh in over 30 years, aims to be more modernized through having not only workout rooms and accessible facilities, but also being environmentally sustainable, along with having being able to accommodate 4 ambulance trucks at once. For a more detailed explanation about this development, we bring to you an overview of this department.
Mayor Ed Gainey and EMS Chief Amara Gilchrist have been working together in efforts to, quote, change the Bureau of EMS. We have to move into the 21st century, quote. They plan on building a Medic 4 station, which will be the first new medical building in Pittsburgh since 1996, which is almost 30 years ago. This new EMS station will be built on the same grounds as the original building, which is now a historical landmark that was built in the 1800s. Demolition of this original building will come in the next few weeks, followed shortly by the construction of the new Medic site. According to Public Works Director Chris Hornstein, this new facility was, quote, many years in the making, and the first in a long line of improvements. Quote, this new Medic building will be large enough to accommodate 4 ambulances and will feature several other facilities, including a workout room. Mayor Ed Gainey spoke up saying that it's been way too long of a wait. Like anything else in the city, we haven't taken advantage of investing in our assets, he said. Then they get to a point where they are outdated and no longer usable. So I am thrilled we are building it, said Mayor Ed Gainey. He continued to state that the renovation of this new facility will make for a better, more innovative city. If we can continue to do this, we will catch up and have a modernized city.
With Medic Fort being a currently new development, more will be announced and revealed down the line. But this station hopes to set an example of what a modern EMS station should be for not only the city of Pittsburgh, but across the nation to follow. With from Pitt to the Point, I am Medical Min reporter Aditya Bandari. Jordan, Charlotte.
Thank you, Aditya. Coming up, this popular musician's restaurant is opening up right here on the North Shore.
And PPG Paints is looking at a potential sale of their business. Details to follow.
Also coming up, The Amazing Race has announced their season 36 contestants, and you may see a familiar face on screen.
Stick around to see who I interviewed from Pitt about their preparation for the show.
Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh. We're here in the Cathedral of Learning, which, if you can imagine being here in this grand historic building. I'm a time when I strive for the greatness, yeah. You can't stop me now. I just wanna we running up, we can't lose you. I walk a mile in my shoes, yeah. There's nothing that I can't do, yeah. What do you think?
Hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt.
Here, progress is always in progress. Proud member of the ACC.
Country music star Jason Aldean is opening a restaurant on the North Shore across the street from Stage AE.
Creatively named Jason Aldean's Kitchen and Bar, this is the third location of his restaurant chain, and the other locations are in Tennessee.
The new restaurant occupies the building that was formerly Jerome Bettis's Grill 36, which was a popular spot during sports games at the nearby Acrisure Stadium in PNC Park.
Bettis's restaurant first closed when the COVID-19 pandemic began in March 2020 and never reopened.
The soft opening of Jason Aldean's restaurant is scheduled for March 13th.
PPG Industries, which is headquartered here right in Pittsburgh, is conducting a strategic review of its North American division.
The results of this review could determine a potential sale of the division. With the details, here's our business and technology reporter, Jack Agnew. Jack?
Now, if you're anything like me, when you hear PPG, you think PPG Paints. But that association could be in jeopardy. PPG Industries is conducting a review assessment of the US and Canada Division of Coatings. And in a worst-case scenario, you might not see those cans of paint on the shelf anymore. PPG Industries is looking to assess some major changes to its business. The company has hired Goldman Sachs to advise on a review of the US and Canada division of its paints business. Currently, this division employs over 6,000 employees, contains 22 buildings handling the headquarters, manufacturing, and distribution of coatings, and owns 750 stores. This review could lead to the downsizing or even sale of the US and Canada division, allowing PPG to invest more money into their more profitable markets. The products of this division, paints, stains, and other various, as they're called, architectural coatings, are sold in stores and online to the general public. This consumer base is mostly DIY home remodelers, and with the past few years' trends in the U.S. housing market, it's no surprise that there's a lack in demand. This review does not include any other divisions, such as the European, Asian, and Latin American, as these areas are still bringing in substantial profit. With the amount of money being poured into the North American sales, the profits just aren't lining up with the rest of the world. Even with all of this, the division has been underperforming, a trend that's been steady since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Though they have recently partnered with Home Depot to try and boost their reach, PPG has stated that a revitalization of this market would take massive amounts of time and effort, and that nothing is guaranteed.
I pledge to protect.
I pledge to protect.
I pledge to beautify.
To protect and beautify.
To protect and beautify the world.
Our world. Nuestro mundo.
Now, my only question moving forward is, in the worst case scenario, are they going to rename PPG Paints Arena to just PPG Arena? It's a small change, but I think I've had enough stadium renaming in my 4 years here. It's a matter of principle. Anyways, for Pitt to the Point, I'm business and technology reporter Jack Agnew. Jordan, Charlotte?
Thank you, Jack. I so agree. This week, our newest segment on Pitt to the Point is crossing over into the world of computer science and medicine.
Students from different backgrounds are working together to revolutionize healthcare with the help of mixed reality. This could change how patients view and understand their own medical procedures and health. Check it out.
My name is Talha Khan, and I am a fourth-year computer science PhD student.
So my name is Nico Cass. I am between my third and fourth years of medical school in the clinical scientist training programs.
Hi, I'm Michael Kahn. I'm a first-year medical student at Pitt.
I'm Griffin Hurt. I'm an undergraduate student, and I'm the senior spatial computing research lead.
We do a lot of research that is interdisciplinary. So a bunch of computer scientists and a bunch of folks from medicine collaborating together towards a broader aim of digitalizing the operating room.
I was always interested in bridging the gap between medicine, industry, and engineering. When I came here, the Surreality Lab was the perfect way to get involved with all three of those things. It's been great for me.
What's really nice about the Surreality Lab is that because we're an interdisciplinary lab, we have people from all walks of academia. So we have people who are on the computer science side. So we have 10 undergraduate students in computer science. And then from the medical side, we have probably 15 or 20 medical students who work as part of the lab. We have some pre-med undergrads who are also working on the clinical side, but still from that undergraduate perspective.
We are overlaying the CT scan directly on the patient so you can see all of their bony anatomy before you make a single incision.
The research I've been doing is I'm looking at the use of augmented reality in preoperative patient counseling. So basically showing the patient their anatomy before they undergo surgery.
Being there with the patient and truly seeing their anatomy and recognizing where we're going to make our cuts into the bone and seeing the contours of that region of the skull is, I mean, it's just remarkable. I mean, every time I show it to another surgeon, it's science fiction. It's amazing.
Last year, we presented a paper at a conference in Sydney, Australia, and that paper won Best Paper Award among 600 submissions. This research saves human lives. That's why it's important.
Each week, we partner with a Pennsylvania high school in an effort to pass the torch to the next generation of broadcasters.
This week, we are joined by Montour High School. We have Maddie and Lily here to tell us about their school in utilizing the power of friendship and bocce. Good morning, girls.
Good morning, Charlotte and Jordan. The Montour Spartans are proud to join this morning's broadcast of Pitt to the Point. Thank you for having us.
Each year, students at Montour High School host Inclusion Week, which promotes togetherness within our school community of approximately 1,000 students. This week, a celebration also highlights our unified bocce team.
Best Buddies is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social, physical, and economic isolation of the 200 million people with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Best Buddies also doubles as a one-to-one friendship and leadership development program for individuals with or without disabilities.
Here's a glimpse of Inclusion Week on the hilltop.
Jamari, what does inclusion mean to you?
It means being included in every activity. It doesn't matter if you're different or have disability.
What is your favorite part of the Best Buddies program?
Seeing the true relationships develop with our students and the other students in Montour High School. It's really special to watch and see how they are included with their peers.
So, let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempts.
Emma, did you like playing bocce?
Yeah.
Damari, did you like the teammates you played with?
Yeah, I play with the basketball team, won the championship, we undefeated 6-0. And we beat the teacher, we beat the athletes, undefeated.
And Emma, what was your favorite part about bocce?
Being a fish.
And what was your guys' favorite theme this week?
Our favorite theme was the Orange Best Buddies shirts that we made through the graphics club, and everybody was able to buy them and wear them on Thursday.
We sold over 50 t-shirts, and it was really awesome to see everyone wearing orange.
This week of inclusion is something that students on the Hilltop look forward to every year. We are proud to share our story with you this morning. Live from Montour High School's Hilltop campus, I'm Maddie Maderick.
And I'm Lily Hamler. Thank you for having us on Pitt to the Point. Charlotte and Jordan, back to you.
Thank you so much, guys. What an amazing story. What made you want to highlight the United Bocce team?
So we're a very inclusive school community, and the students on our Unified Bocce team are very special to all of us. We love hosting a week of activities to celebrate their team and their accomplishments.
And what other activities did your school have for Inclusion Week?
So each day had a dressed theme where students and teachers participated together. There were fun activities planned during lunches where all the students could participate, and all in all, it was a week of celebration.
Well, thank you so much, Lily and Maddie.
Thank you.
The Amazing Race, a reality TV show where teams of two travel the world in the hopes of winning $1 million, recently announced their season 36 contestants.
I had the amazing opportunity to sit down with contestant Maya Modi, who is a junior here at Pitt. She and I talked about what it took for her and her brother to prepare for this kind of adventure. Check it out. Hi, I'm here with Maya Modi, who is a recent contestant on The Amazing Race. So my first question is just, what made you be inspired to apply for The Amazing Race?
So my brother and I have been super fans of The Amazing Race pretty much our entire lives. I grew up watching the show, and the two of us used to watch the show together, and we would sit down with journals and we'd be like, oh, if we got this detour and we were on the show, we'd go on this challenge. Or if we got this roadblock, this is who would do it and why. And we'd pretty much just maximize and talk through being on the show together. And so growing up, it was always a dream that the two of us would be able to do this together. My brother and I there's no one more I trust in my entire life. I always say that he's my ride or die. We have such a great bond of trust, and there's really no one else I could see doing the show with. We worked the same job together for the past 6 summers. We were both swim instructors at the same exact pool.
Oh, yeah.
We literally taught a lane over from each other. So we've learned to work with one another in a professional setting. We obviously have that sibling bond with one another. It's been our lifelong dream to do it together. And so it's gonna be a connection that we always have with one another. And it's just been such a special experience.
Swim goggles. Maya is not 100% sold on this one.
How would you describe your overall experience being on The Amazing Race?
The community behind the show is just amazing. The producers, the production team, the camera crew, the lighting crew, like the way they all work with each other, it's just crazy to actually be able to see what happens. And the community that I've now become a part of, it's so cool that I, like, as a super fan, getting to live through that experience and now, like, be able to say I'm really close to them.
We definitely want to prove ourselves to our parents. We're not allowed to use the washing machine in our house.
Our dad is, like, convinced that we're gonna break it. All the other two.
So as a student at Pitt, were there any experiences that led you to be inspired to apply for this, to actually, like, join The Amazing Race?
I mean, there were definitely a lot of experiences that helped me. I mean, coming to Pittsburgh, it's a completely different city than what I'm used to. Learning the bus systems helped me a lot with my navigation skills. I lived on upper campus my freshman year, so doing the hill every day, it gave me endurance. Those stairs, though, it definitely helped me for the better. I was part of club swim, and so being able to work out every day in different ways on top of that definitely kept me in shape for the show. But overall, being at Pitt, I knew I had a community that I could rely on, especially going and coming back. I knew I had a group of solid friends that I could rely on coming back to support me. Yeah. And honestly, just being a part of the Pitt community is just knowing that I had that behind me was so reassuring when I was on the show.
And then my final question is just kind of, what advice would you give anyone who wanted to go on The Amazing Race, who wanted to prepare for this kind of experience? Is there anything that you would, say to them?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I would say is you just kind of have to put yourself out there. Develop all of the experiences that you think you can go for. Any opportunity you get to learn something new, it's going to help you out in the long run. My brother and I, specifically, when we were training, we used to go to all of the ropes courses we could do. We tried to test ourselves mentally with escape rooms. We tried to face as many fears as we could. I know I'm an extremely picky eater, so I was like trying different foods while we were out. I'm trying to think of other good ones. We're not afraid of fears or heights, but we went on roller coasters and rides that would mimic situations that we'd go under. But on top of that, we tried to prepare ourselves. I was building IKEA furniture to prepare so I could learn how to use different tools. I taught myself to drive stick shift. Even growing up, I learned Spanish and he learned French because we knew we wanted to go on the show together so that we'd have different languages that would be compatible when we went on the show. So just take advantage of every opportunity that you can get your hands on because you never know what you're going to learn from it.
So tune in on CBS or KDKA March 13th at 9:30 p.m. We are so excited to see you and your brother's journey. Thank you so much for coming as well.
The Amazing Race premieres on March 13th at 9:30 p.m. on CBS and KDKA. Support our very own Maya Modi as she and Rohan embark on this journey.
Coming up next, we'll highlight upcoming events for International Women's Month.
And you'll want to hear about this annual Pittsburgh Film Office Gala. Stick around after the break for an exciting live interview with Mark Packer.
Mark is a host for the ACC Network and ESPN, an ESPN channel that airs our own Pitt sports. Stay tuned.
They come here, forged in the spirit of change, pushing to answer the questions, and then questioning the answers, embracing each challenge as fuel for reinventing the world. Because here, leadership, courage, creativity, innovation, and progress are always in progress. The University of Pittsburgh, forge ahead.
We're excited to hear from Mark Packer, the face of the ACC Network and the various standout players leading the charge.
We'll turn it over to our Pitt sports reporter, Megan O'Connell, for more. Megan?
Thanks, Charlotte and Jordan. In the realm of Pitt sports, we are so fortunate to hear from Mark Packer as we will discuss the upcoming ACC tournament and the preliminary March Madness predictions. Later, we will cover Leah Tuking's impressive regular season stats and accolades. And as spring is upon us, we will highlight Pitt football's spring practice and the blue-gold game. Charlotte, Jordan, back to you guys.
Thank you, Megan.
The Pitt News consistently provides dependable and timely news to both our campus and the Pittsburgh community.
This week, we take a look at the Pitt Pantry and their efforts to reduce food insecurity, Pitt men's basketball's journey to the NCAA tournament, and Pitt Stage's recent performance.
Let's check out this week's stories.
The Pitt Pantry, located in the O'Hara Student Center, strives to help college students combat food insecurity. The Pantry proudly partners with the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank for food and hygiene products. The Pantry aims to provide more than just basic food options. It includes gluten, dairy-free, vegan, and halal options. The Pantry is accessible to all Pitt students. Pitt men's basketball and the Oakland Zoo reflect on the season. As the Pitt men's basketball team is competing for their spot in the NCAA bracket, the Oakland Zoo continues to bring their flourishing energy to the rest of the games, hoping that they can keep their traditions alive while making sure the team feels their presence. Pitt Stages performs That's Not How I Remember It. The show is based on two parents who tell how they met, but their stories do not quite match up. The performance also highlighted some famous stereotypes in popular 80s movies.
Play itself, That's Not How I Remember It, is such an interesting concept. It was so funny, like the actual performance, but going into it, I was just really interested in how they were gonna use 80s stereotypes and make it funny, and a one-act play too.
Pitt Stages opens up to an inclusive center of creativity where people can connect to tell stories that audiences love.
In city sports news, the Professional Women's Hockey League is a new league made up of female athletes who are boycotting the former women's hockey leagues due to wage disputes.
The league is partnering up with NHL teams to host their PWHL Takeover Weekend to increase the exposure of the league. For more on the story, we turn to our city sports reporter, Sean McQuillan. Sean?
Thanks, guys. In 2019, some of the greatest women's hockey players in North America began boycotting existing leagues due to the refusal of compensation. Just a few years later, Los Angeles Dodgers owner Mark Walter began to form what is better known today as the PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League, which has since taken the nation by storm by hosting games in some of the NHL's top market cities. One of those cities in the coming weeks just so happens to be right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Bold, it's brave, and it can be very scary. It's worth it for each one of us who have fought so hard for this day, and it's worth it for the generations of girls and women who will come behind us.
WHL draft, and how about that, Haley? Billie Jean King makes the announcement.
Everyone that I love is there, and it's the state of hockey. So
Boston selects Alina Mueller.
Dear hockey. Dear hockey. Today I would like to share my love, my gratitude, and my appreciation. U47, my 365, and now my future. And now my future. And now my future. I'm excited about what comes next. I know they will be unbelievable, unimaginable, and the unexplainable. But
we just getting started. Finger on trigger with aim on a target. I'm shooting my shot, yeah. It's right on the money, no discount, no bargain. Hearing them calling. The club. Gotta stay up, way up. It's cut it up on a rematch. First time won't relax. It's the beginning, we just got started.
As part of the PWHL Takeover Weekend occurring in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the coming weeks, we will see a bunch of marquee matchups with our main event happening at 12:30 p.m. on March 17th, featuring PWHL's Toronto taking on Montreal, just right before the Pittsburgh Penguins host the Detroit Red Wings later that night. Now, unfortunately for Pittsburgh Penguins fans and for Milkshake Factory fans, Penguins star Jake Guentzel has officially been traded to the Carolina Hurricanes prior to the trade deadline. Jake Guentzel, one of the Penguins' young promising stars, has been traded for a plethora of young assets that the Hurricanes poise in Michael Bunting, Vasily Ponomarov, Valeri Koivin, Cruz Lucius, and a 2024 first-round pick along with a fifth-round pick. So, for Penguins fans, it's sorrow, but it means a promising future and promise for Pittsburgh hockey. For City Sports, I've been Sean McQuillan. Charlotte, Jordan.
Thanks, Sean. As Hollywood prepares for the Oscars, Pittsburgh is gearing up for its own red carpet affair.
Get ready to hear about the Pittsburgh Film Office's Lights, Glamour, and Action Gala.
We also have another live guest coming up.
That's right. Don Keyser, the executive director of the Pittsburgh Film Office, is going to be here with all the juicy details about this year's gala.
We are the University of Pittsburgh, forged in a blue-collar city with gold standards, where innovators, researchers, thinkers, and healers are always reaching for new heights. There is no limit to what we can accomplish when we put our minds, our hands, our soul, and spirit toward it. Here, progress is always in progress. Hail to Pitt. Proud partner.
Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh. We're here in the Cathedral of Learning. Imagine being here in the Commons Room or an Nationality.
What do you think?
So what do you think? Hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt. Proud member of the ACC.
So sorry for the technical difficulties earlier. We will head back to our Pitt sports reporter, Megan O'Connell, to see what's going on in the world of Pitt sports. Megan?
On Wednesday, the Pitt women's basketball team lost a close one to Georgia Tech 60-73. However, senior forward from Washington, D.C., Leah Tu King, has made an impressive mark on the program. King's accolades include making first-team All-ACC, second All-ACC first-team honoree, and is the only player in the nation performing at 18.8 points per game, 10.4 rebounds per game, and 1.9 steals per game. In other news, Pitt football's annual Blue Gold scrimmage offers fans a glimpse into the team's progress and potential ahead of the upcoming season. Notably, quarterback Nate Yarnell is one player drawing significant attention, as he is expected to play a pivotal role in shaping the team's performance in the upcoming season.
Spring ball, it's here. It's good to get out there. I talked to our guys this morning. Just, January 8th, we came in here, had a meeting after the season, and first day of the semester, we've had a great off season, working towards this day, and I think we're bigger, faster, and stronger, and now we're going to find out if we're better football players and better coaches. Nate has always been a guy that's led, I think, and the guys have always trusted in him, but. I think it's a great question for the players once they get up there, and you get a chance to talk to them today. I think we got two coming in. Matter of fact, I think Nate's one of them. But I think that'll also come with going out and doing it every day in practice. I think leadership goes with making plays and being the guy.
It means everything. To have a coach have confidence in you and believe in you means a lot. Definitely allows me to go out there and just play football and try and be the best that I can be. Allows me to just try and be a best team guy I can be and make sure we're going in the right direction. It's definitely a different challenge, but it's the same mindset. I always had the same mindset. I wanted to play and I wanted to win, and now I'm in an opportunity to play and I still want to win. So I'm going to work as hard as I can and make sure that we get wins this year.
Pitt football enthusiasts should mark their calendars for Saturday, April 13th, as the team gears up for the highly anticipated Blue Gold Spring Game set to kick off at 2 p.m. at Acrisure Stadium. Now we have our upcoming interview with Mark Packer. Welcome, Mark. How are you?
Megan, good morning. How are you? Technology is a beautiful thing on a Friday morning.
Yes, it is. So since we're on a time crunch, let's just get right into it. How do you think Pitt will fare in the ACC tournament?
I think they've got a shot. They're playing with great confidence. They've been a great road team. So maybe in some respects, the fact that the ACC tournament's not in Pittsburgh is a good thing, but they're a dangerous team. This is a club that can score. And again, I know everybody's talking about Duke and North Carolina as the favorites, and that's probably a smart move, but I think there's some teams that can make some noise in Washington, D.C. next week, and Pittsburgh's one of them.
I completely agree. And so Pitt has had impressive road wins this season against both Duke and Virginia. Will that help come NCAA selection time?
No question. Obviously, you've got to get Q1 wins. They got another important game with NC State. You got to take care of business there. Then you got to win some games in D.C. next week. But, there's only one Power 5 team in America that's won more road games than Pittsburgh, and that's Tennessee. They're liable to be a 1 seed. So guess what? You win on the road. All these wins count now. Pittsburgh's got an outside shot, but they got to win against NC State, and then they got to win at least a couple games, I think, in Washington, D.C.
Yes, that sounds good. And Blake Hinson has been hot as of lately. How important is he to Pitt's ACC tournament success?
Well, he's got to be great. And listen, when he went 7 for 7 from beyond the arc at Duke, and they went on the road there, you went on the road by making a gazillion threes at Virginia where nobody seems to win. He's got to play great. Plus, given that young backcourt, you need experience. Blake Hinson's the guy. He's a tough guy. He wants the ball. He's not afraid to take the big shot. I want Blake Hinson on my team. There's no question.
Me too. And the ACC tournament and NCAA tournament is about great guard play. And so Pitt currently starts 2 freshman guards. Is that a detriment, or are they good enough to give Pitt a chance in both tournaments?
Megan, it's only a detriment if they play like me. If they play like me, it's a problem. But we had Bud Carrington on the show last week, and he was incredibly great and gracious. And, man, he's just developed right before our eyes. He's going to be a superstar. These kids now, at the end of the year, they're no longer freshmen. They're now sophomores. So I think Jeff Capel feels really, really good about his backcourt.
Well, thank you so much, Mark. We really enjoyed having you here today. So thank you.
You got it, Megan. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourself.
You too. And for Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt sports reporter Megan O'Connell. Charlotte, Jordan.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Megan. With March being Women's History Month and today being International Women's Day, I think it's a great time to shed some light on remarkable women.
We turn to our Pitt beat reporter, Erin Clark, to hear about the recent and upcoming events for Women's History Month. Erin?
Thank you, Jordan. Well, happy International Women's Day to all my girls out there. To celebrate this and the entire month of March as Women's History Month, Pitt held events earlier this week on Wednesday. One of these is the Women in Windows tour at the Hines Memorial Chapel. This is a tour on campus highlighting women featured in the stained glass windows of the chapel. We got to take a closer look.
The month of March has been recognized nationally as Women's History Month since 1987. The University of Pittsburgh is holding a number of events throughout the month to celebrate women and their history. One of these events is the Women in the Windows tour at Hines Chapel. This tour asks that all participants reserve tickets in advance. Tickets are free for Pitt students with their student ID, $5 for Pitt faculty and staff, and $10 for general admission. The tour takes guests through the chapel, looking at select women within the stained glass windows. The theme for this year's Women in the Windows tour is women who advocate for fairness and inclusion. Notable women like Emily Dickinson and Abigail Adams are featured throughout the stained glass panels at Hines Chapel. This tour gives guests the opportunity to learn the stories of some women who have inspired great change, progress, and hope during their lifetimes. The tour continues through the month of March, and additional information about how to register for tickets and a list of upcoming dates and times can be found at www.diversity.pitt.edu under Events and under the Women's History Month tab. Even more women's history events can be found here as well. The website lays out a number of events occurring throughout the month of March. These events include interactive exhibits, film series, discussions, brunches, and even more. The month of March is just beginning, so there is plenty more time to dive into women's history and celebrate the incredible lives that women continue to live right here on the University of Pittsburgh's campus.
You can also attend this beautiful and insightful tour as there are many slots available over the next couple of weeks. Pitt will also host more events this month to celebrate the history of women all around, such as screenings of the film The Woman of Tomorrow and Champions of Title IX, The Rise of Wahine. For more information, check out the calendar events on the university website. For Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt Beat reporter Erin Clark. Jordan and Charlotte.
Thanks, Erin. It's time for our Alumni Spotlight, where we highlight a Pitt alum and their accomplishments post-graduation.
This week, we're taking a look at Dr. Ed Korenman, who works to provide free dental care to children.
Him and his wife, who is also a Pitt alum, loved their time at Pitt and want to give back to their community. Let's take a closer look at what they've accomplished.
Dr. Edward Korenman spent 8 years at Pitt and describes it as nothing but wonderful. Since graduating from dental school, he has accomplished many great things.
We started doing a free care day for National Children's Dental Health Month a number of years ago. About 2 years ago, I was trying to figure out what we might be able to do to provide more days of free care. And I spoke with my department chair, and she and I came up with the idea of doing a Summer Smiles program. So the children that we saw in February could come back in August before they went back to school and get their teeth cleaned again. My wife and I started making our contributions to the university go towards this free care fund. There are other people who have made contributions, and I believe between the care we do in February and the other days that we're doing free care now, I think total we've provided over $200,000 in free care. Since we started the Summer Smiles program, I think we've done about $70,000 in free care.
His passion shines through for what he does and who he does it for.
It's a very humbling, weird feeling to kind of feel like at this stage of my life, I almost feel like I've hit my stride. I found what I'm most passionate about, being able to watch the dollars work and provide and the effect it has on these people's lives and see these kids leave smiling. It's an honor for me. Believe me, I get back way more than I give. Essentially, my life has been like a dream come true.
Pittsburgh is home to many wonderful vintage clothing shops, one of which is Eon's Fashion and Antiques in Shadyside.
Though you might not expect it, Eon's contributes to our local film industry. With more on this story is our entertainment reporter, Ariana Shess. Ariana?
Pittsburgh consistently ranks as one of the top cities for filmmakers with tons of productions going on each year. But aside from just camera people and actors, there's so much more that goes into making a film. I was able to sit down with the owner of Eon's Fashion and Antique to learn about the number of award-winning set designers and costume designers, as well as some of the actors that he was able to work with.
My name is Richard Parsakian. I am the owner of Eon's Fashion Antique. I am celebrating 38 years in my business. Because I am a resource for the costumers in Pittsburgh and set decorators, I would get about 10% of my business from those productions. And through my years as being a resource for the film industry, I've met so many amazing costume designers and actors. You know, they could shop at Tiffany's or wherever else, but they chose a sustainable store to come in. And I always feel honored. Some of the shows that saved me were Perks of Being a Wallflower and Mind Hunters. That sustained my store because of the amount of clothing they bought. And I just had exactly what they needed. And the film office bringing in all these productions are super important for businesses like mine. And I don't think I would exist without you guys helping.
He was filled with a plethora of great stories. And speaking of the Pittsburgh film industry, I have the pleasure of sitting down today with the Deputy Director of the Pittsburgh Film Office, Dawn Keyser. Dawn, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm pretty well. I know this weekend is the Oscars, and the Pittsburgh Film Office has a very special event the weekend of the Oscars. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Thanks, Ariana. This is the 24th annual Lights, Glamour, Action presented by Highmark, our longtime sponsor. It's a night that everyone comes out to really celebrate the film industry. We walk the red carpet. We have lots of fun food and drinks. There's some special surprise entertainment. Surprise hit, you might get to make a movie on a green screen with some very talented local crew. And it's a really great night. And again, this is 24 years of supporting the Pittsburgh Film Office, which is a 501c3 organization. So we're the organization that drives all the work that's coming into Southwestern Pennsylvania, that keeps the over 5,000 people employed, including a lot of these local businesses like Richard Parsakian, who's one of our amazing small businesses that benefit from this industry.
Yes, and speaking of the impact of the Pittsburgh film industry, I know overall there's been $2.5 billion worth of economic impact as well as hundreds of jobs. Can you speak to how the Pittsburgh Film Office brings these productions and the impact that they have on the area?
Absolutely. And the Pittsburgh Film Office is essentially an economic development organization that markets all of Southwestern Pennsylvania. So that's the 10-county region to the industry. We're the one-stop shop. So we're the first people they call. We walk them through how to get here. We walk them through how to close the streets that you're showing on there right now, how to get their permits. And then we put them in touch with all the local crew, the amazing talent that lives and works here in the region. And we just try to keep this economic engine rolling. As you mentioned, it's a $2.5 billion economic impact to the region. It's about $150 million a year on average. Our Pennsylvania Film Tax Credit Program is really the reason that drives the work coming in. Currently at $100 million. We need it to go to $300 million. So feel free to speak to your legislature when you meet them when they come to campus to visit you guys. Say hi and say, increase the tax credit. I like them hearing it from all kinds of different places. It does matter. These are jobs for Pennsylvanians. There's 20,000 people that work in this industry statewide, 5,000 here locally.
Yeah, and wonderful. Speaking of people in the industry and getting into the industry, I know that the Pittsburgh Film Office has partnered with Pittsburgh Public Theater to start the Create PA program, which works to then help aspiring people working in film and theater productions. Can you tell me a bit about how this program came to be and where it looks to go in the future?
Yes, thank you. Create PA is our amazing new workforce training program. We actually launched it in 2019, and then a lot of things got in the way, including COVID. So in 2021, we relaunched it, made it a statewide program, but we really are kicking it off here in Southwestern PA with our partners at the Public Theater. We are offering training. This is paid training, and we're teaching people how to get a job. This is in partnership with the IATSE, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. That's our union that does most of the work behind the scenes, both on TV sets, movie sets, and behind the scenes at the theater places as well. And we're training people. What you're looking at now is our hair class. We're getting ready to do makeup. We'll do accounting. We've done grip. We've done electric. We've done wardrobe. We've done production assistants. So there's lots of opportunities to learn the hands-on skills you'll need to be successful on set. And all of that is on our website at pghfilm.org.
Yes, as a film major myself, that is such a wonderful opportunity that you guys are presenting to people who are looking to get into this industry. Yeah, and like you had mentioned, Lights, Glamour, Action, are tickets still available for that event?
Tickets are available, and I did dress up for you guys again this morning. I put glitter on top today. pghfilm.org. Tickets are available right online there. And I do want to mention the Film Office has a very successful internship opportunities every single year. We do spring, we do fall, and we do summer. So if that's an interest to you, after we get through this weekend, please feel free to send us an email, and we'll happily talk to you about our internship program too.
Yes. Well, it was so wonderful getting to speak to you and hearing about all that the Pittsburgh Film Office has to offer. As you heard, if you're looking and interested in Lights, Glamour, Action or the Create PA program, you can find all that information on pghfilm.org. From Pitt to the Point, I've been your entertainment reporter, Ariana Chess. Jordan, Charlotte.
Thank you, Ariana, and thank you, Dawn. Now, we love sharing local Pittsburgh news and Pitt news with you guys, but we also love to highlight our regional campuses. Coming up on Pitt to the Point, see what events and activities are happening at the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford.
Also coming up, discover the latest grooves from the Pitt Jazz Ensemble as we dive into the swing of things with our Clubbing at Pitt segment after the break.
Officially back and in the books.
Stefanski just shoots and she scores. They're the winningest team in Pittsburgh history.
Ball sent in, Sullivan, Pittsburgh 1-0.
Great strike, Michael Sullivan.
Pittsburgh has a share of the ACC title in 2022.
The record set by Tony Dorsett has been broken by Israel Abanikanda here.
The Pitt Panthers are going into the next round for the first time in program history.
Looking to dive deeper into stories that caught your attention today? Then look no further than our website.
Visit pittothepoint.com for clips from today's show and in-depth articles covering the topics that pique your interest.
And stay connected with us on social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, all under the handle Pitt to the Point.
Follow us for updates, behind-the-scenes footage, and more from our talented crew. Don't miss out. Join the conversation online and stay informed with Pitt to the Point. With over 600 clubs and organizations on campus, there really is something for everyone here at Pitt.
This week, we take a look at Pitt's Jazz Ensemble. As a previous middle school jazz performer myself, I'm super interested to see what this club is doing. Let's take a look.
People like myself, and I know a lot of other people in the jazz ensemble, love music and love playing music, but they're business majors or engineers. It's nice to just have a space that we can keep playing, even though it may not be as serious or very competitive, but it's just really fun to get creative with each other. I think it's really important to have this and just other forms of music.
It's really important to just have that creative outlet for all kinds of students. I don't believe there is a single music class that is really reserved for like music majors specifically or anything like that, which I think is a good thing because it gets the whole campus more involved in the creative music process. I'm a philosophy major myself, so it's a lot of reading and writing, and sometimes it can get a little boring, so it's nice to have a little creative outlet that I can express myself a little bit through every once in a while, just to keep things interesting.
I am a STEM major, so it's sort of an opportunity to artistically express myself and try new things and get myself out there. I get a lot of new opportunities playing with people and meeting new people, and it's a great way to stimulate my mind and do different stuff. It's definitely a great opportunity to get jazz out there in Pittsburgh and on campus. It's not a very popular music genre, so I'm glad that we can bring it to our campus and hopefully get more people listening.
This brings up good memories of me playing the flute in middle school jazz band.
You mean the jazz flute?
Yes, the jazz flute. Some people don't know it's a thing, but it is.
Yeah, and I played vibraphone in my high school marching band. Not quite jazz band, but you know, close enough. So last Saturday, Pitt Bradford held its annual cultural festival. The festival aims to celebrate the cultures of the student body with 23 countries represented.
For more information about the festival, we go to Zach Hankins, our regional campus reporter. Zach?
This past Saturday, Pitt Bradford hosted its annual cultural festival celebrating the many cultures of its diverse student body. The guests had the opportunity to participate in many different activities, watch amazing performances, and try out foods from around the world. Not only was this event just a fun experience overall, but it served to emphasize the ideas of diversity, equity, and inclusion that are central within the Bradford community.
Cultural Fest is just a coming together of different people from different backgrounds, beliefs, and they're just showing off their traditions and cultures from their country. It's a time where people can make food from their country, jewelry, and just show off their cultural attire to really educate the community and the students on campus. Because a lot of people, you know, they come from different backgrounds and they come to Pitt Bradford or any of the Pitt campuses, and you don't get to really experience a diverse culture unless you come on campus a lot of times. So.
The event featured performances from a variety of local dance and music groups, such as the Allegheny Mountain Cloggers and Family Functions and the Sitar Jams, a modern sound to classical Indian instruments.
Other activities that we'll have, we have henna designs, basket waving, we have ethnic attire, and I actually have 6 mannequins here in my office that are dressed with ethnic attire from around the world. We'll have African bracelets and necklaces, gardening agriculture practices, let's see, lacrosse history, Mexican paper flowers, books around the world, paint by numbers. So we have quite a few activities planned for this Saturday.
The event certainly seemed like an amazing time, and all funds raised through donations will be used to support next year's event. From Pitt to the Point, I'm regional campus reporter Zach Hankins. Jordan, Charlotte?
From Pitt Bradford. Now it's time for your weekend weather.
You can expect a rainy weekend with some warmer temperatures this afternoon, reaching a high of 65 degrees around 3 p.m. today.
There will be steady showers throughout tomorrow, and by golly, even a chance of snow showers on Sunday. Not a great start to Pitt's spring break.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for watching. You know, 5 years ago, you were actually anchoring for your high school's broadcast on International Women's Day.
It's true. It's just a day of reminiscing, and I'm still friends with those people to this day. Brings back good memories.
Well, we want to wish everyone a happy International Women's Day, and also to our technical director, Michelle Spiller, a very happy 21st birthday. Once again, I'm Charlotte Reeve.
And I'm Jordan Sapp. And Michelle, please have a responsible evening tonight. Pitt to the Point is your #1 news source for all things happening at Pitt, all the way
to the point.
See you next time.